That's a great idea. We should probably do that.
Yeah.
All right. It's happy hour somewhere, mostly here. So welcome to Drinkin' Dusties, where we get to try out some awesome old bottles that have been lost to history, and to decide whether they're right for drinking or whether they should have been left in the sands of time.
We also uncover the amazing histories that often go into these cool old dusty bottles.
Which are awesome.
Yep.
And I'm Charles Cox.
I'm Steve Russell.
And now is a good time for us to remind you to please click subscribe right there.
Down there,
it's a button.
down there.
I think it's over here.
Yeah.
But anyway, click the button. It's got our little logo
Why is it
on
on your side?
because I'm special.
Okay. All right.
I have to wear a helmet. Click that. Subscribe to us. It's free. Doesn't cost you nothing. Helps us out. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Also, you can follow us on social to get all sorts of key inside information about what we're working on and some previews of some upcoming stuff.
And then go the extra mile. Check out Patreon. Maybe support us on Patreon. Throw a few bucks our way. Help to keep us in Dusties and help sharing all this cool information about Dusties with you.
Is there something nice that would happen to them if they support us?
Matter of fact, there is. We like to pick from our Patreon supporters, and we always, whenever we drink a new Dusty, we always fill up one of these nice little cute bottles. They're adorable, by the way.
Totes adorbs.
Totes adorbs. And then we send these out. We pick from and so the sooner you become
Do we pick our favorites?
No, we just pick every one that goes into it. At random. Well, no,
Yeah.
at random.
Yeah.
And then we bottle them up and send them out to our supporters.
So the great thing there is we don't just drink these together. We get to share them with you.
Yep.
You have to, remotely. We
Yes.
don't want to get creepy
Right.
about it, but you can tell us if you like it. All right. So today,
Box of mystery?
there's something in the box of mystery.
No way.
Would you like to know what's in there?
I would love to.
Well, you say no way as if we've always remembered. Sometimes we've forgotten to put the bottle in the box of mystery, and I pick it up and there's nothing
So
there.
now I'm
But I saw it just a minute ago. It is there.
okay.
And you're going to love this one,
All
Steve.
right. Is that a bottle of canola oil?
It kinda looks
I believe
like
this
it.
is canola
I got
oil.
this at Costco. No, it's at least not Scotch,
Okay.
because we know you hate your Scotch.
Not so much on the Scotch.
Not a big fan of Scotch, but this is similar to Scotch in the sense that it's next door.
Okay.
Irish whiskey.
Okay.
So this is Bushmills Irish whiskey, and I know identifying Bushmills as Irish whiskey triggers some folks of Irish descent. Curiously, not people in Ireland, but people who live in America but have Irish roots. So
Tell me more.
I want to clarify. Those people tend to label Bushmills as Protestant whiskey, not really Irish whiskey.
Okay.
And then you have people on the other side of the equation that label Jameson's, for instance, as Catholic whiskey, and so they're not going to drink that. It's a stupid debate, but I know I'm not part of the troubles. I didn't experience it, so other people have been through a lot. But let me just explain why it's stupid. Like, you can have your beliefs, but when it comes to the actual whiskey, these whiskeys aren't on different sides. Bushmills, yes, is located in predominantly Protestant Northern Ireland,
Okay.
but it is a whiskey with a Catholic master distiller.
Okay.
And of course, on the island of Ireland, it draws Irish water, whatever.
Yeah.
Jameson's, while it's produced in the more heavily Catholic South,
Okay.
a lot of Protestants work for Jameson's. They've had a Protestant master distiller as well, and they were started by John Jameson, who was a Scottish Protestant.
Interesting.
Yes. So any kind of debate that
Yeah.
way, one way or another,
But
is just stupid.
One thing we know, though, is that the troubles are not complicated. We're not complicated.
No. And we as Americans can totally understand all the nuances of it.
Absolutely.
No problem. All right. So I just quickly want to talk about what makes Irish whiskey different than, obviously, it's from Ireland. Hey, there's one key thing.
There.
But
Face closed.
yeah, done. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Scotch we had a Scotch a little while ago. Scotch is typically distilled twice. Bourbon often just once, sometimes twice. Irish whiskey is almost always distilled 3 times. So that, to a lot of fans, gives it a very clean, crisp taste. To me, sometimes can make it too clinical.
Okay.
Like, I like some of the edges,
Mhm.
but it definitely does make it smooth. Irish whiskey also uses barley, especially in a single malt, but often both malted and unmalted in a blended whiskey. Also tends to blend it with corn for a blended whiskey, which gives it a little bit more of a bourbon-like flavor than single malt Scotch, obviously.
I like to use it on salads.
There you go. Yeah, it looks perfect for that. Let's just throw some balsamic in there. And a big reason for that was the reason they mixed up and didn't just use the malted barley was historical, thanks to the Brits, because the British Crown in the 1850s taxed Ireland through malted barley. So there was a tax on malted barley, so Irish distillers started saving money by using unmalted barley, and then also shifting over to other grains like corn.
That is interesting.
Actually. Yeah. So a lot of people started drinking it, not just because it made more profitable for the distillers, but also made them feel more patriotic because they're supporting.
And they were screwing the English. So.
Right, exactly. That's always very important. Yeah. So we are today going to compare this dusty Bushmills, which actually, if you'll notice, says old Bushmills. And the new Bushmills does not. Oh. It just says Bushmills. So that helps us identify the bottles very easily.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. So they changed the whole name, and we'll get into that shortly. But why don't you pour us some of the modern one while I'll tell us a little bit of history.
This is the modern
That's the modern one.
It's hard to tell a little bit.
It doesn't. What does it not say?
It doesn't say old.
Doesn't say old. Okay. So Bushmills comes from the village of Bushmills, which is named for mills on the river
Bush.
You got it, in Northern Ireland.
Love this game.
So clandestine whiskey distilling was going on there far back as the 1500s, but and that was because of easy access to clean water and the grains because the mills were right there, the ample barley supply, so that made it really easy for them. In 1608, they went legit.
1608.
Yeah, and that's why you'll see on the bottle. Yeah. But here's an interesting thing that we'll get into shortly. So the new bottle says 1608. The old bottle says 1784.
Who's counting?
Yeah, what's going on here? We'll get into that shortly. So, but in 1608, they became the world's oldest whiskey when a license to distill was granted by King James to landowner Sir Thomas Phillips. So you notice the difference in numbers. So the old bottle, this is all because some marketing department in the past 60, 70 years decided, oh, let's go back to when whiskey was first distilled in Bushmills, but not by our distillery, because the actual distillery, you see on the old bottle, it says 150 years old. That's because the distillery itself was registered. The old Bushmills distillery and the pot still trademark are from 1784. That's when they got the actual registered trademark for it.
All right.
But the license went back to 1608, but that was just people in that area. Okay. So on November 25th, 1885, guess what destroyed that old Bushmills distillery?
Could it have been a fire?
A fire. Always the friend of distilling operations. So,
or, maybe they should all stop smoking. But
or packing their warehouses with really ultra flammable materials.
Right.
But no, you have to do that. So it was a huge fire, but they rebuilt bigger and better than before and modernized their operations. So just right after that, the 1889 Paris Exposition Universelle, it boasted attendees like Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, showcasing innovations, all sorts of new developments, but they also featured whiskey, of course, and Bushmills won the gold medal for having the best whiskey. So around that same time, about the turn of the 19th century, the brand was so big they had their own steamship, the SS Bushmills, to deliver their whiskeys around the world.
That's cool.
And reportedly, their distinctive square bottle shape, which you see they've had for a while, was developed around then to allow them to ship more. Yeah, ship more to the U.S. They could really pack them in. One thing that's important to know when you talk about Irish whiskeys historically is we talk a lot about the bourbon glut. We talk about the whiskeys we drink, specifically bourbons. It was even worse in Ireland. They had a just complete collapse of the Irish whiskey industry. They had the Irish Civil War.
Is it the same time as our glut, or
before? So they had Irish Civil War. They had U.S. prohibition. Most of their clients were in the U.S. and British ships weren't willing to take their whiskey over here to smuggle into the U.S. They had both world wars, and alcohol production was shut down during then. During the Second World War, Belfast was bombed by German bombers and actually destroyed Bushmills headquarters in Belfast. So the industry was almost completely obliterated. And then, as with bourbon, people just stopped buying Irish whiskey in the period after the war. So a lot of distillers shut down or merged. By the 1970s, there were actually 2 distillers left.
Wow.
Bushmills in the north, Jameson's down in County Cork, the Old Middleton distillery, and then Old Middleton bought out a lot of more merging, and Bushmills became part of Jameson's then.
All that, and you actually left out the leprechaun raids of 1784.
Those were awful.
bloody.
They filled because they'd lost all their gold, so they had to fill the pots with something.
Exactly.
Pot stills.
Yep.
It all comes together.
All comes together, people.
But somehow they persevered. Bushmills back to being its own operation, and now it's actually even on Irish money, their pot still. So, and now there are over 30 different active distillers in Ireland. Wow. So, would you like to try some whiskey?
I would love to.
So this is the new Bushmills. So triple distilled, as we mentioned. Proof is 80.
Watch out. 80.
Let me just double check that. Yes, 80 on the current one. So this is their basic offering, their flagship.
Entry level.
Yeah. A very clean smell. Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
A lot of you guys may like your Bushmills. To me, it doesn't do much. I like bourbon. I like a little more to it. It's very clean. It's not offensive. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, nothing offensive about it.
But I wouldn't sip it so much. I'd use it for cocktails and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But it definitely. But do you notice how with Irish there's that very sort of clean, clinical taste? So there's not
it's
not much to it.
Yeah, pretty clean.
Well, yeah, I personally don't quite understand why people go nuts for Irish in general, just because of that clean taste. But anyway,
yeah.
So that's their flagship expression, and they claim they haven't changed the recipe since 1888. Okay. So we'll be tasting one within that range, so we'll be able to let them know. Does have high single malt content despite being blended, so it's a lot of Irish blended whiskeys will have a much higher other grains, but with Bushmills it's 45% single malt, so malted barley, and then 55% corn.
Oh, okay.
And then it's aged 4 years, average of 4 years in both bourbon casks and sherry, Oloroso sherry casks.
How much corn?
55%.
So it's bourbon.
Technically, if it was made in Kentucky or in the U.S. and adhered to other regulations. But yes, the corn thing is correct. Yeah. So now we have this old bottle. So let's get this new one out of the way. And we, on Drinkin' Dusties, we like to identify what year a bottle is from. On this one.
So when's this one from, Charles?
Thanks for asking,
no
Steve.
Problem.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We're going to find out.
Why don't you know?
We're going to find out. So a lot of times we have the easy cheat of just being able to look on the bottom of the bottle. And if you take a gander down here, it does not have a date. It says liquor bottle, United Kingdom.
Right.
So that's not terribly.
Or a lot of times, especially in, with bourbon brands, Kentucky especially, they've changed hands so many times that you can just look at like when what the distiller's name is, and that narrows it down a lot.
So with this one, we have to do a little bit of detective work. So one clue is it gives the alcohol content as 86%, or I'm sorry, 86 degrees proof. So that in the UK means that it, because they switched over to ABV, alcohol by volume, in the early 80s. So we know it's before the early 80s. Okay. The measurement on here is given as 1 quart. The UK obviously switched to the metric system, and they kept going with imperial measurements on liquor bottles for a while, but by 1980 they'd shifted over to metric. So we know it's before 1980.
No, it's before 1980.
No UPC code. That started by the late
that's
1970s. So no UPC.
Although I wasn't always sure the UPC codes were on foreign bottles before that. But
yeah, you have to. That's the thing with foreign bottles. You have to look at what country it comes from for when standards were put in place there. This 1608 date that we saw on the other bottle, that's not on this one, was introduced by Irish Distillers Limited in the 1970s.
Okay, so we're down to the 70s.
Yep. But the best
introduced though, that doesn't really mean it could still be
introduced. Put on the label. Okay, so we know. Yeah, let's see, 1608. Put on the label since.
This is before that.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So that's before that.
So we're in the 70s now. But the newest, we're in the 70s now.
So here's the best clue. Okay. This at the bottom. It says sole distributors for the United States of America, the Joe's, short for Joseph, Garneau Company, New York, New York. Okay. So we can find they were big wine importers. We know that they were exclusive distillers of Bushmills in the 1960s, even though they'd been bought by Brown-Forman in 1956, but they still were allowed to operate under their name as a part of Brown-Forman through the 1960s. So now that's limited this to at least the mid 1960s.
Okay.
And since we have the internet nowadays, we can also just compare this label to other ones online. Which I did. And so I was able to pretty reliably date this to 1965.
Wow. It's in great shape.
Yeah. And another clue is, see, it's got a screw top. In the late 50s, they shifted over. They had a different top. They didn't have the screw top.
So we're past 50s, but this nails it down to the 60s.
And then comparing the label, this exact label, because there were some slight differences, but they basically, for all intents and purposes, didn't change their label for almost 60 years. But there's some slight differences, so we're able to tell 1965.
65. All right.
Shall I open it?
Absolutely.
Because it's time to what?
Drink this Dusty. And where did you get this, Dusty?
I got this in an estate sale, as I love to go to because I'm a cheap bastard, and I prefer not to go to some of the fancy pants auctions that you get, admittedly delicious whiskeys from. But so this was being sold together with a bottle of Seagram 7, much coveted Seagram 7, and I got the two of them together for $120.
Okay.
So you could say that this was a $60 bottle.
Wow. At that time, did you have any? You knew there were Dusties, but you had no clue really probably either one of those bottles really went back to.
No, but I knew the Bushmills label was different than the ones I'd seen.
Right.
I immediately noticed it didn't have the 16
Right.
So
but it's just in such a good. Honestly, if I'd seen one in this good shape, not having any reference point really on, I wouldn't even have thought this was Dusty.
But that's the thing, yeah. It's so beautifully. Yeah, I probably should have saved it and sold it rather than sharing it with you. You don't even like Irish whiskey.
Too late.
It's already open.
Should I pour?
Yeah, please. You pour while I'm going to talk about what else happened in 1965 because we love to set the stage, let you guys get a feel for where we are. So 65.
While the bottle breathes, we talk about what went into it.
There was nothing but happiness in 65. Did you know that?
I believe it.
Yeah, first U.S. ground troops went into Vietnam. John Lewis, Martin Luther King Jr. led marchers from Selma to Montgomery, and but then that ultimately resulted in the Voting Rights Act being signed by LBJ. So it at least had a happy ending there. The Watts race riots happened in L.A.
Yep.
Malcolm X was assassinated in New York City.
Yep.
This is just getting better, isn't it?
Yep.
First space. You love your space news.
I do love my space news.
First spacewalks. First times human beings actually were in space outside of the space capsule. First one was Russian, Soviet cosmonaut Alexei Leonov, and then American astronaut Edward White, both in the same year.
Did they walk together?
Not back then.
That'd been so nice, though.
We've been friendly since, but and
now
we're not friendly again. Yeah, some people are super friendly. So India and Pakistan went to war,
right?
Which is
done
over Kashmir. They've done that a few times.
They've done a few times.
Joe Namath flipped the NFL the bird, and instead of joining the NFL, he signed a record deal with the rival New York Jets of the AFL.
He's taking his talents to
the other side of town.
Yeah.
Carroll Shelby unveiled his GT350 Mustang. Love the Shelby Mustangs. Canada adopted its distinctive maple leaf flag.
Not till then, seriously?
Yeah, but being polite Canadians, they actually asked Queen Elizabeth's permission first, and she signed a declaration granting them permission to have their own flag.
65.
65.
Wow.
Yeah, 1965.
Wow, so iconic.
In music, the Rolling Stones, you love your Rolling Stones, they recorded Satisfaction. While the FBI reported on their formal investigation into the supposedly pornographic lyrics behind Louie Louie. Nope. The Byrds released Mr. Tambourine Man, sort of bringing in the era of folk rock. And Bob Dylan recorded Like a Rolling Stone, and he went electric at Newport.
Dang. Oh, that was 65.
That was 65,
Big year.
Back to the sports world, San Francisco Giants pitcher Juan Marichal famously attacked Dodgers catcher John Roseborough with a bat during the game because he was mad at the Sandy Koufax's pitches, but he didn't go after Koufax because Koufax would have clocked him.
Surprised it doesn't happen more.
And Kansas City A's pitcher Satchel Paige pitched 3 innings against the Boston Red Sox at age 59.
Whoa, that's crazy.
59. Satchel Paige was amazing.
Town.
Absolutely amazing. And Gatorade was first tested in a college football game. It was Florida versus LSU, right?
Yeah, I believe that's
1965.
correct. That's correct.
It was a big year.
All
right. So remember that this is supposed to be exactly the same recipe. It does not smell the same. This smells a lot more robust than the other one.
I don't smell much anything from either one of them.
All right, try it. See, this to me has a lot more corn content.
You're right. I was going to say sweet, but
and the color too. I mean, the color.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier.
I mean, that's going to be more from the wood, but
yeah,
I like this a lot more.
I like it a little bit more.
The current day one. To me, it has more of a bourbon-esque flavor to it. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not bourbon,
right?
But it has a slightly thicker, more robust.
A lot more corn. How old is this?
This is 1965.
But I know how long did it age? Or is that
9 years, I believe. 9 years.
Huh,
yes.
Okay.
So this is aged 9 years. So it's also aged like this one's only 8. So you could say maybe it's just from the wood,
right?
Because this one's only.
This one's got a little deeper color than that one. I noticed.
Yeah. But it's. I mean, I get the sweetness of the corn, but like, unlike a bourbon, there's no nuance to the flavor. It's just the same flavor all the way through. There's no burn.
I challenge you not to agree with me. I get a little butterscotch.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like or like where there's hard candies, the hard caramels, maybe,
or fucking butterscotch.
Sure. I'll give you a butterscotch. Fine. But do you get any? I get a little bit of lemon with it too.
I did. Flavor? Yes, yeah. I actually got some lemon out of that one too. but yes, absolutely.
But no peat because it's not Scotch;
Right.
it's Irish.
Right.
There's no smokiness to it
Right.
at all. But yeah, you get. But if it's partially aged in sherry casks, we should be getting some fruit other than the lemon, right? You should be getting some of those classic sherry notes, like raisins and cherries and stuff like that. And
I just think it's probably being overpowered by the corn,
right?
And the butterscotch.
they just filled half the bottle.
I got like one good note, and you try to take it away from me, like right away.
That's my job.
Jeez.
My job. I don't know. I actually really like this, and I'm not a big Irish fan.
Yeah, I don't really like it, but it's not offensive to me, in any way. If somebody offered it to me, I'm going to sit there politely and drink it.
Okay,
let me say that.
So
as I just did.
So our advice to those of you, if you like Irish whiskey, I think you'll love this because this gives you a slightly more robust flavor. It's definitely going to impress. If you're a fan of Bushmills, you're going to enjoy, the comparison. Yeah. You're going to enjoy. If you're like Steve and you have no interest in Irish, it's probably not going to sway you. Yeah. It's not going to make you think, oh, this is the next coming of Green Spot or whatever. It's not anything like that. Yeah. Green Spot's an Irish whiskey.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
But yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at it.
But yeah, not bad. So
I'm hoping it'll grow up to be a bourbon someday.
One of these days. No, it's never going to be a bourbon. Right? It'll always just be an Irish whiskey. We do love our bourbons more than anything else. But you do you. You put ice in yours.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Is that helping at all?
It makes it colder.
Does it bring out any new flavors?
Not so far.
Now it's just cold. It was butterscotch syrup before, and now it's butterscotch
icing.
Yeah.
So no, I like it a little bit colder. I really do. So
no, it's interesting. Yeah. All right. So we are looking forward to sending a sample of this to one of you guys. Yeah. Make sure you support us on Patreon. Become one of our patrons, and we can send it to you. Click subscribe to get access to all of our videos, and they're free.
And keep coming back, because obviously we're going to keep opening up more bottles and sharing them with you guys, both in the visual audio way and also by sending out the bottle we talked about.
Absolutely.
So until then, keep it dusty. Cheers.
Skull.
All right.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, good for you.